So, when you think of Mars, what comes to mind? Probably that dusty red planet, right? A quiet neighbor. But what if I told you that's barely scratching the surface? We're talking continent sized canyons, moons on a death spiral, and glaciers made of stuff we call dry ice. Today, we're taking a tour of the real Mars, a world of incredible extremes that's way, way stranger than you might think.
Yeah, that red planet nickname, it's been around forever. The ancient Romans saw its kind of bloody color in the sky and named it after their god of war. Makes sense. But seriously, beyond that rusty dust, Mars is a dynamic world. It has seasons, it has weather, and oh man, its history is just packed with surprises.
And one of the first surprises is actually how familiar it can feel. Believe it or not, a day on Mars, they call it a sol, is 24.6 hours long. Our day is 23.9. That's crazy close. But okay, don't get too comfortable because that's pretty much where the similarities end. From here on out, we are heading into some seriously alien territory.
All right, first stop on our tour. Get ready for this, because we're visiting one of the most jaw-dropping features in the entire solar system. We're talking about a canyon system that makes our own wonders look, well, kind of tiny.
Okay, I'm just going to throw a number at you. 2,500 miles. Just let that sink in for a second. That's the distance across a continent. What in the world, or I guess what off this world, could possibly be that big? Well, this is it. It's called Valles Marineris. And yeah, it's not just one canyon, it's a whole system of them. If you could just pick it up and plop it down on Earth, it would stretch all the way from LA to New York City. It's literally a scar running across the face of Mars. And if the length doesn't blow your mind, the depth will. I mean, our Grand Canyon, super impressive, right? It's a mile deep. But parts of Valles Marineris, they go down 6 miles. And get this, scientists don't think a river carved it. No, the theory is that the planet's crust literally ripped open as these massive volcanoes nearby just stretched it to its breaking point billions of years ago. Wild. Okay, let's pull back from the surface for a minute and look up, because there's some serious drama happening in the Martian sky, too. You see, Mars has these 2 little moons, Phobos and Deimos, and they're kind of potato-shaped, not nice and round. And one of them, well, it's on a death spiral. Behind these huge discoveries, there's always a great human story, and this is a good one. Back in 1877, an astronomer named Asaph Hall was getting super frustrated. He just could not find any moons around Mars, and he was ready to give up. But his wife, Angelina, she told him, nope, keep going. Just one more night. And you know what? It totally paid off. The very next night, he found Deimos, and then 6 nights later, bam, he found Phobos. So in 1 week, he got them both. He named them Phobos, which means fear, and Deimos, dread. Kind of perfect, right? The companions for the god of war. But it turns out one of those moons has a seriously fearful future waiting for it. So that's Phobos. There is no other moon in our solar system that we know of that orbits this close to its planet. It's so close that Mars's gravity is literally reeling it in like a fish on a line. Every single century, it gets about 6 feet closer. So what happens? Well, in about 50 million years, give or take, it's either going to smash into Mars in a spectacular crash, or it'll get torn to shreds and form a brand new ring around the planet. How cool is that? So we've seen extreme scale, right? Now let's talk about extreme temperatures. For our final stop, we're heading to the Martian South Pole. And this place, it gets so unbelievably cold that it creates a type of ice that's totally alien to us, making a landscape that is just out of this world. Okay, so Mars has glaciers. You might be thinking, cool, water ice? Nope. These are massive, flowing glaciers made of frozen carbon dioxide. Yeah, the stuff we call dry ice. At the poles, the temperature can just plummet to minus 220 degrees Fahrenheit. That is so cold that CO2 gas freezes right out of the atmosphere and falls like snow. And this is where it gets really weird. See, the atmosphere on Mars is super, super thin. So thin that liquid water, or liquid anything really, can't stick around. So instead of melting, this frozen CO2 does something called sublimation. It goes straight from a solid to a gas. Poof! Skips the liquid phase entirely. And these glaciers are so huge that even in the Martian summer, only the very top layer sublimates away, leaving all that ice underneath perfectly frozen.
So you might be asking, how do we even know they're glaciers? How do we know they're flowing? Well, it was some amazing scientific detective work. Step 1. NASA's orbiters used radar to find these huge ice deposits, like a kilometer thick. Step 2. Scientists looked closer and saw features that looked exactly like Earth glaciers. Ridges and stuff. So for the final step, they took software designed to model our glaciers, tweaked it for Martian conditions, and the model confirmed it. There's no other explanation. That ice had to have flowed. It's a glacier.
Okay, so let's pull back. We've seen a canyon bigger than a continent, a moon on a collision course, and glaciers made of dry ice. I mean, these are incredible, right? But they're not just cool space facts. Studying these extremes actually tells us a lot, and it has some really big implications for us, right here on Earth.
I mean, every single one of these discoveries helps us chip away at some of the biggest questions out there. Why do we explore Mars? Well, for one, we're searching for signs of past life, especially in places that we know used to have water. We're also trying to figure out the basic rules of how planets form and change over time. And by understanding how Mars went from a warmer, wetter place to the cold desert it is today, we can learn a ton about climate, including our own. And yeah, of course, we're also scouting out the neighborhood for when humans finally go there.
It seems like every time we send a new mission to Mars, it just reveals a planet that's more complex, more dynamic, and way stranger than we ever thought possible. We've uncovered giant canyons, doomed moons, alien glaciers, but it just makes you wonder, right? What other secrets is Mars still hiding under all that red dust, just waiting for us to find them?